Morning, everyone.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good. Thank you. And you?
It's fine. It's rainy. It's the best weather. Like in English, in England.
Yeah, like in Manchester.
Okay, let's wait 2 more minutes. Other join us and we'll start. Okay, cool. Let's get started. So, guys, what would you like to talk about today?
Maybe you have some ideas for our today meeting.
Yeah, well, sure, I have some ideas. So maybe I'll propose to talk about self-discipline and about management, self-management, about management, about how to manage yourself, how to manage your work, your process, your team, if you're working with team. So just want to know what kind of problems are you facing with during your working activity, in discipline, in management stuff, in time management. So let's talk about those kind of stuff. Who wanna start?
Maybe you can start to introduce some ideas, and we after that to add more information.
What do you mean by ideas? I already introduced. It's kind of like what problems are you facing with? Like maybe like a manager, maybe if you're one player, like working like a freelancer, you also have some problems with your discipline. So I want to start with problems. So what are your problem you're facing with? For me, I cannot say that I'm like have any kind of problems in management or those kind of things. I'm just doing what I should do and use like tools that I'm using, kind of Kanban board, kind of different things in order to be more efficient doing my daily activities. So that's why I'm asking you what kind of maybe problems you're facing with and what kind of solution, or maybe you're faced with in the past. So what kind of problems you was faced or facing with, and maybe what kind of solution you already tried to use. So this is my question to you, and I'm trying to be more specific. So guys, please.
Maybe, okay, I understand you. I will try. And first way and first solution was when we don't have a writing process. What people, what employers must to do, and what you must to do, and employers must to do, and that is part of management. When you write all process and try to control that people do all this process and they can read information, this information free, and they understand how all works in your company or in your shop. Another way that when you control everything in one program, when you add your information to this program and everybody to add information and can understand that you can understand that you see analytical information in one place, and that is easy for you. You don't have information from another tables, from another people, only to see in one program software and understand how works your company, you growing, you lose your money, and that is maybe 2 steps for management.
Did you? Yeah, please, Alexei.
Hi, first of all, hi. Sorry, I skipped the first part, and I didn't hear about what the topic we talk about. Manage in our company or manage in ourselves. How we manage our.
So if you have a company or if you have a team, you can like share how you managing your team or your company. If you don't have company and then don't have team, you can just like share with us how do you manage yourself, what kind of life hacks you prefer to use, and like share with all of us so we can discuss those things together. If especially if you have problems that you cannot solve, maybe we can be like kind of your consultants for today.
Yeah, but now I'm just a usual member of a team, and before I had have experience to manage a team, and actually we use a very common approach. We use Scrum, and we use all of these things. We use Sprint, we use all task management. It's very helpful. Use task management tools as Jira and daily tracking, time daily tracking, and every day we have every day we had a meeting for our statuses when we discuss our problems, and we can understand in where our all all my team members in the middle of the task resolving. So if they have some problems or everything okay, and we can say that we according to our plans. But it's a very common approach in all, I think, in all IT company use this approach. It's nothing new.
Yes, it's first impression. Like many companies from IT domain using Scrum, like Agile approach, but in reality they using it just because even did not understand it. They just use it because they heard that this approach is efficient. And so from my experience, many companies that are using Scrum, they don't have full picture of Scrum. They're using just like, because some other companies are using, like Google, like Amazon, like Facebook using Scrum. So that's why we should also use Scrum.
Yeah, I agree with you. And very often companies change Scrum of their reality, and they can change and do some improving, and maybe it's not always good idea, but we change our Scrum, and we make some we add some new stages to our Scrum, to our processes. And we in Scrum we have just grooming, and we had pre-grooming as phase, and other additional meetings for manage our team, because it was a very large team, more than 50 people. And but I know many companies who use Kanban, and for them it's a very convenient methodology for manage team.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some challenge in my near future to start repairing my apartment, and I think I will try to use some task management system for managing all these tasks, and split all tasks for some parts and with some deadlines, and because it's very difficult to keep all in your mind, and don't forget anything.
Oh, sounds good. I think it will be interesting. How would you explain all those things from Scrum to your
Repairments.
yeah. To your workers who are going to execute this reparation?
I think if it will be just one managed person for all of them, I can agree with him to manage it, and that's all. Because I think it will be a problem for teach all of them work in this system.
Hopefully you will not use Jira, because they will be like after this those workers are going to leave the company and go to a IT domain.
And yeah, the first tools as I can imagine it's Jira, especially it's a more spread task management tools. But I think I can try another tools. Maybe not so difficult.
Yeah, it's there are other tools like you can try Trello and Asana. It also like Jira, but much more simple, and it can be used for your daily projects or even for your planning of your day. It's kind of Kanban board, and you can like assign some people to make these things to be done. So if you succeed with your workers, I think maybe you should try to be a Scrum Master
no.
or Agile coach.
I like being a programmer, and really I left my one of my job. I left because I became a team leader, and it wasn't that I want, because it's too much manage works and too much works with people. But as for me, I like more do my main job. I like program, create some new feature, and improve our product. That's why. And I felt that I lose some of my skills, because each day, half day I should spend for managing. And
Yeah. I know what you're talking about because I also was in managing positions. I had like I started with like 10 people, then it were 15 people, then it when I changed to another company, shift to another company, to another project, it was like more than 30 people that you should manage them. And it was like tough stuff. Also using some Scrum activities, some Agile, some Kanban things. So it was pretty challenging.
Yeah.
So I understand you pretty good.
That's why I don't like managed position. And actually, these benefits that you can get from this position, it's not so high. But you have some problems when you try to change work. You can come across with problems that you go on the manager position, so we can offer to you some other kind of manager position, and they don't see in you as a software engineer. They see you as a manager, and that's all.
Yeah. It's like common thing that is happening when someone to try to make a software developer, project manager, or team lead. They like wow, and especially when people who are doing some software stuff or maybe testing stuff, so they like go into details of those kinds of problems. And when you are doing all this trying to be a manager, trying to be an extrovert person, but you are introvert, so you will have this conflict of interests in your those two people, like one extrovert, one introvert, and they're trying to fight to each other.
And I raised all mentions about that I was team lead in my CV, and now in each position I just was a software engineer, and that's all.
Actually, I faced on the problem with names of positions I worked, because when I'm trying to like explain what jobs have I did before, what jobs I did before, it's like if there like some another name of the position, actually it like doesn't suit for people who read my CV, because they don't read anything behind actually. But if talking about CV, it's a big problem. But I couldn't, for example, write something and some other. I don't know. It's not for me. I suppose that if I worked I don't know, just for example, yeah, a manager of team, I need to put that information basically. But of course, if you were coding by that time, of course, you could put it. There's also, but it doesn't matter actually. And talking about management, actually, I've like visit some like watch maybe some course of one school about career and so on, and they talk about self-management. When you want to achieve some goals, you need to like make some goals for yourself. It could be about career or about your own life, like for a private life, it doesn't matter. And to make like smart goals, yeah, they need to have some timelines you need to understand steps, what do you need to do for that, and like to manage your life by the approach like you manage the projects on your job and so on. And the deadlines haven't to be at the same time. Like for example, you want to take part in some, for example, I don't know, like соревнования.
Competition.
Yeah, in some competition, for example, Ironman. Yeah, we have talked about that previously, and at the same time, you want to take part in some conference, for example, I don't know, or something like that. And you need to understand that you, of course, you put preparing in parallel, but have the deadlines in in different time, because you could failed in both sides actually. Of course, it's like just just like an example, because the woman who teach. She told about women approach, for example, when you want to create a family and to create a career, it could be like some different deadlines, for example, for wedding and for children, and for have some success in your career actually. So something like that. Or when we are talking about software, for example, if your team involved in several projects, and for example today you have release, their same team members couldn't take part in both in the 2 or 3 release, because they couldn't concentrate and do their job in good quality. I don't know if it's understandable, but I just trying to speak.
Yeah, thank you, Svetlana. It was interesting to have your idea on this. Maybe we can hear also Lola for any other thoughts about management, about self-discipline, about other activities.
Okay, probably like everyone, I have problems with self-discipline. Sometimes I don't work productively. I know myself, but I work with it. I started to playing sports in order to develop self-discipline. Sport is very helpful for this matter. In this matter, for me.
Actually, talking about life experience, I feel that when I have a strict schedule and don't have a lot of free time, it works better for like feeling bad, for like health and so on. Then when I have a lot of free time and don't know what to do, like today or what to do next hour, and you just spend your time for nothing. It's not really good experience actually.
Yes, I agree. What about guys? Maybe we can talk a bit about deadlines. How do you feel about deadlines when you have this kind of deadlines? Are you more efficient, or you are struggling of deadlines? You are trying to push away from deadlines. You don't feel comfortable because of those deadlines, or you like become more efficient because of those deadlines? And how about priorities? Are you using priorities in your job? Are you trying to put some tasks that are in priority, made it like first task to do with the highest priority and last task to do with the lowest priority, and etc. What kind of tools you're using to be more efficient? Who wanna share?
Yeah, I can share with. First of all, actually, yeah, with priorities, and if we have some stuck problems and we understood that we couldn't manage it in time, we just can put away this task, and if it's not so important, but if it's very important, we try to help with other team members. And actually, as for me, deadline, it's a very very helpful because when you know that you should do something for some time, you can work more productive because when you don't know, you just need to do, and that's all. You can do it more relaxed and without any in, it's correct to say. Okay, so deadline motivations is more than if we don't have deadlines. And about priorities, we should set our priorities in the very beginning of our process on our sprint, and we should understand all our main goals and stretch goals. If we do more than our main goals, and we can add some stretch goals. It's a good. But if we cannot if we cannot make our main goals, that's the problem. And we should change our tasks, or we should change our maybe some approach.
Oh, could I ask a question? It's not about the job, it's about like everyday life. For you guys, for example, you have some like deadlines that you like would find some reasons not to do that. It's okay for you, or you try to do everything to like to finish with some deals in time that was planned before. It's not about the job, it's about the life, like approach to the life.
Svetlana, maybe you can give us an example so we can understand what they're talking about, because it's really not so simple to catch your idea.
Yeah, okay. For example, you have planned to go to some meeting, for example, with your friends in their like 6 o'clock at the evening today. But you could like to go there in a half an hour. Of course, it doesn't matter for them because it would be a big company, and they could wait for you, and or just they will sit in the restaurant, and it doesn't matter if you would be in time or later. And what is your approach? You try to be at the time, or you like could become later just because you could? Actually, you don't like very important reasons to come later, but
Yeah, I can like talk because I had some kind of those things. By the way, like my friends, like people who are really busy, and we have sometimes we did those stuff like in order not to if anyone from us are not in time, then we should pay the bill in the restaurant if we're not in time. So it's about respect time of other people. It's about respect your friends. It's about respect they, for example, if you like decided to be at 7 o'clock and you said in advance that I'm going to be at 7 o'clock, then you should be at 7 o'clock. But if, for example, you have some kind of unexpected things that happen to you, then you should like at least notify your friends that you have some things that you really need to do. But if you don't have those reasons, then you should be in time. If you should plan your time, like you should be even before, but not later on, because if you are going later on, you show your like a relation, your relation to your friends, that they are not important to you, that you have some other important stuff. Either you show to your friends that you are not disciplined person as they are, and one day they can ask you why we should like communicate with you if you're not self-disciplined, if you're not notify us, if you're not that person that we can be like as we, for example, people like to communicate with people who are pretty the same as those people. And for example, if you have like same habits to be in time. If you're self-disciplined like they are, consequently, you will communicate with those kind of people. So it's all about respect, all about managing your time, all about being in time, and that's it. If you're not in time, then you will communicate with the people who are not also in time, who who don't respect your time. So it's your choice with whom you wanna to communicate. If you wanna be like those guys who are efficient, who are self-disciplined, who are in time, then you should be the same person as you want to communicate with. So this is my point on this.
Thank you.
Maybe Alexei, Anatoly, Lola, any thoughts from your side?
Yeah, you're true that we have different situations when that is real situation and you not go and at time to the meeting, and yeah, you can to call and say I will be late because I have a reason. Also, we have people who's all time late. That is style of life, and after communicate with these people a lot of times, you understand that that is style of life for this person, and you can continue to work with this person if the person important for you, or you can say bye, I need another. That is about work together, how we work and why we work with another people. If this person important for my business, for my company, and I can agree with this that he or she late for 10 minutes, maybe 2 hours, that's normal because I grow together with this person. But I understand that I must to uh, uh, to know that that style of life for this person, and to say that we meet in at 10 o'clock, but we meet at 11 o'clock, for example. And for this person, we meeting for 1 hour early. Or I say that we have one person who's late as usual for 10, 15
Sorry to interrupt you, Anatoly. We discussed with Svetlana like your personal, from your case, from your personal life. So, for example, what are you going to be on time with your friends in a restaurant, or do you prefer like to be like 30 minutes late because you understand that they are in restaurants, they are not alone, they will find what to do. So what is your decision on this?
I try to say you this that is about my opinion, how we work with business, with my usual life. If
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to put you in a real situation, life, not with your team, but I mean with your friends, and then you can like put some analogy from, for example, with friends, I'll be
friends,
this
yeah.
way.
I have some friends, and I know that these friends always late. And yeah, I have another friends who's go in time. And when we sit in a bar and this friend late, um, if that is my best friends who's we will to always to spend time, he go later, and that's normal because we sit with another friends and to enjoying about situations, to speak and not thinking about why he late, because we understand this person always late. But if I don't like another person and he late, I don't meeting with them another time. We have many different situations, and it works in business, in life, with friends, and I understand that my best friend always late for half hour, for 1 hour, because that is style of life. And yeah, I say you, for example, I say him, I come to 10 o'clock, but if it is only one person with who's I trying to meet him, I go to 10:30 or to 11, and we come together and together enjoying about situation. That's adapting.
Yeah, it's adapting. But when you have agreements with your friends that you should be in time, it's like agreement with your team. So you should follow those agreements, and it's okay because it was accepted by you, it was accepted by your team or by your friends. So when you have those kind of agreements to be in time, by the way, I had also a project when some people were not like coming in time. So after a while, like I sit with them to negotiate with my team, like, guys, I understand that you may be super busy or you have other projects to do, but let's have a let's self-discipline us in order to be in time, because some of people who are in this meeting, they are waiting for other people, so they are losing their time. This time they can like programming or doing any other useful activities, but instead of this we're like all like 3-4 people or 5 people waiting for 2-3 people and cannot start because they are late. So we made those kind of agreement on a retrospective meeting, and after a while, after 1 or 2 sprints, it was like no problem with discipline. We were all in time, and in case if anybody cannot like join in time or have some problems, personal, then we should notify team member about your status, and this team member to share your status. And it was pretty good solution from my experience.
That is your responsible for life, how you're adapting for situations, and
Yeah,
which tools you know you use for communicate with people.
yeah. If you cannot be self-disciplined with yourself, if you can self-manage yourself, you will not be able to manage other people, and this is the reality. And start with you. You know, like if you have some like big problems or you have team problems, maybe you should start with solving it by your own, solving with your ego, and then try to solve it with your team. And by the way, I didn't heard any opinion from Laura.
Okay,
Oh,
repeat please
yep.
your question.
So what would you do? It was a question from Svetlana. How would you manage if you decided to meet with your friends somewhere in a restaurant? Would it be okay for you to be late, or you'll be in time, and why? And after this, you can like talk about self-discipline, if you have any problems, and etc.
Mm-hmm. I think if this person late everything, it will be not fine for me because I don't like to wait people, but I will. I would understand if person have really problems or in life or something else, and if reason will be if reason will be как настоящая причина,
Reasonable for you.
reasonable for me, I with a understanding, я бы с пониманием отнеслась к этому.
I would understand him or her.
Yes, I would understand this person. It's not a problem for me. Wait if a reason is good.
Okay, and what are you doing when you are late? How are you going to manage yourself?
I think I need to work with this problem because sometimes I can't late, but if I late, I everything call for this person for waiting me and explain the reason, or I can to speak and say about my lating because person doesn't need to wait me in this situation.
So do you have this problem of being late, or you like super disciplined person?
Depends on situation because I in more times I everything everything go in time, but sometimes I can't late. Иногда у меня есть причины опоздать. Sometimes I have reasons for lating, but
for being late.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so we have like 9 minutes till the end. So do you have any things that you want to share with us, or any questions that you want to talk about at the moment?
Maybe we can prepare a topic for our tomorrow meeting, and maybe we can choose one of them.
Yeah, sounds good. What I would propose to talk about next time, maybe let's talk about public speaking. Maybe
Public
fear of public speaking, for example.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah, good.
okay.
Okay, guys, thank you everyone for your active participation, and have a great day. Be safe, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye.